So Beth, it's brilliant to have you with us this evening. Could you just tell us a little bit about where you're based, what your role is, and a bit about the schools that you've been working with particularly?
Yeah, sure. Lovely to be with you too. I'm Beth, and amongst other things, I work a day a week for a school as a chaplain. I live in Northumberland. The school is in Morpeth, and I work with sixth form only. I'm not employed by the school. It's not a kind of faith orientated school, but I've been there for about two and a bit years.
Northumberland, best county in the
Yeah,
country, I would say, definitely. Most castles.
100%.
How long have you lived up in Northumberland, Beth?
I moved up. I moved up to Newcastle in 2014, and then up to Northumberland a year later. So yeah, 5, 6 years. Just love it. It's the best. It is the best.
Fantastic. So the sixth formers you're working with, you wanted to run a prayer space. Tell us a little bit about the thinking behind that, and what were the sort of restrictions that you faced in trying to run that.
Well, I've been in the school for, yeah, as I say, kind of a couple of years, 2.5 years. It might be that I'm the biggest limitation really to this unfolding, but I was really just waiting for that nudge from the Holy Spirit to just, when's the time for a prayer space? I'd seen prayer spaces in other schools, look super creative, absolutely love them, and just didn't quite get a settled sense of when it might be. I think because it's not a kind of faith-based school, if you like. I was just a bit nervous about going too quickly. I'd approached a school initially to see if I could go and work there, so it wasn't like invitation. So I've done a lot of well-being stuff. I've done kind of a little club at lunchtime around theology and philosophy debate and things, but I'd always hesitated a bit from a classic kind of Christian Union thing, but just trying to keep my ears open to, what is God doing here? What does it look like to walk in step with the Holy Spirit here, to love the staff, love the students, and just kind of be around them, as so many chaplains, that's kind of what you're there to do. But it was interesting, just over Christmas, I just kind of had that, hard to describe other than that just niggle and that nudge about, I wonder what prayer might look like now that we're not in school. We've got a great room, but it is at the back of the sixth form centre, and you have to walk upstairs and go across everybody else's social area to get to it. But thinking, actually, with being online, there's huge possibilities for people to opt in privately. They can keep cameras off, they can use a space as they like. So it just seemed to be a really good time to try it and explore it.
So tell us what you did then. It's hard to imagine what a prayer space looks like that isn't in a classroom with a bubble tube and a gazebo and all of that kind of stuff. What did you do online that kind of reflects that creativity? How did it work?
Well, I guess the first step was to check that the head of sixth form was okay with me doing it, and having built a great relationship with the team, they were absolutely fine. Sent an invite out to the whole sixth form, and then they had to opt in, so they'd only get the link to the classroom kind of if they'd said it. So I kind of made sure the space was protected and it would be what it said it would be, which I just said to students, it's an online reflective creative space shaped from a Christian perspective on prayer, but everybody's welcome. So it felt important to say what it exactly would be. It would be really strict on half an hour, get permissions from everyone, and make it really safe. And then, I can share the screen with you. I'll show you.
That would be great. Yeah.
Super simple, really. It's basically, and you'll recognize it from your website, just a welcome slide. So it kind of looks nice. Students were invited. They could keep their cameras on or off, and they could speak or not if they wanted to. And I just created a playlist that played throughout the whole time. So
nice.
Our school uses Google, so I had to get my head around Google Meet, Google Classroom. How does that work? And then just lifting some of the activities that you would use in a space in person in advance, saying to students, you might want to have something with you that tastes really sweet. So
Okay.
I sent a list in advance. You might want a candle. So this is something sweet. Opportunity, if they want to say out loud, they can turn their mic on and say it. Have something with you that's sour.
Yeah.
Then maybe again, if you want to say what that is, something with you to smell. So again, still trying to really capture the creativity that prayer space in schools have, but in a way that is accessible from everybody sitting on their desk in different rooms at home.
Amazing. And do you know that students found themselves a sweet thing and a sour thing and a smelly thing? Did they do that?
Yeah, they all did. So most of them, actually, it was interesting. They're quite Google Classroom savvy now. They've been doing it, but all of them kept their cameras on, I think, apart from one, and you could see them doing it. So taste it. And some of them said what had kind of come up for them, or they were thinking about wanting to pray. Some of them didn't.
Yeah.
They were interacting with it.
So tell us a little bit more about the response of the students, because I've not heard of a prayer space kind of hosted in the way that you're describing online. I've recorded a couple of things for schools and they've just sort of played them to the year 7s and year 8s back in their homes, and they've done prayer activities, but I've not heard of this kind of thing where it's been hosted online. What was the sort of response to you and to those prayer activities as you did it live?
Well, one of my prayers really is that students would really feel loved and welcomed, whoever they are, whatever they believe or don't, as part of the space. And I think what's been lovely is that's been some of the responses. A girl at the end of the first one actually stayed on at the end and just said, she was really teary, and she just said, I've been feeling so lonely, and this is the first time in months where I felt loved and part of something.
Wow.
Had another email afterwards from someone saying, I felt so included, thank you. Another one saying that was blissful at the end of a day of being on Google Classroom. So I think, in a sense, just holding that space where I would just say welcome, and the music was very calming in the background. I would talk them through, but there was also quite a lot of silence throughout. So that was really, really lovely. They've all come back, so not huge number, maybe 10. I don't know, I think a couple of them have church connections I know of, others don't, but they've come back. So you always take that as, oh well, they want to be there, they're choosing to be there. But I think just that sense of they want to be together in a space that is using a different part of their brain, opening up a little bit of their soul that maybe has just not been able to be open the rest of the day.
And even those just little phrases that you said, those students said, I've been feeling lonely, I feel like I belong here, it's felt blissful. Those, being a parent of a sixth former right now, those short phrases mean so much more now than they perhaps did a couple of years ago, a year ago, because the feeling of loneliness and anxiety is so strong for a lot of students, particularly sixth formers, I think, at the moment. So that is remarkable, isn't it? It's extraordinary. And they obviously felt safe with you, which is fascinating, because we often assume that it requires a room and physical presence to evoke that sense of safety, but it clearly happened there. There was something magical happening for you with those students. It's amazing. What are your your thoughts moving forward? We've just got a couple more minutes now, but your thoughts moving forward, what are your hopes for continuing hosting places of prayer? Do you want to continue online? Are you looking forward to being physically present? We do hybrid of both. What are your thoughts and reflections on this?
Yeah, really interesting, because I think, we've only done it this last half term. We might only have another couple of weeks before students are back in school. I think I've actually really been surprised and amazed what's possible online. And I actually think, in terms of the depth, especially the interaction within this half an hour prayer space, I'm not sure we'd have had that in the setting that I'm in. So I am starting to wonder, what might it be like to have this, at 6 p.m. I don't know, after the school day. I'll have a discussion with students around that. The space that we've done has been 3 till 4, so kind of right after the school day. So, but they'll be on buses and they'll be getting home and all that kind of stuff. So I think, in some sense, just waiting again to see what does Holy Spirit nudge us about and talk to students too. So real value in the online, and potentially it does open up stuff to do in school. People now know the words prayer spaces. A lovely thing was we created our own psalm, after our last one, and I sent it round to the sixth form staff just to say, you know, I don't want to share this widely because I don't have student permission, but I'd love you for you to see it. And they individually, every single one of them, all 8, sent back an individual response saying it had really touched them, it had made their day,
Wow.
it had kind of opened something up for them that was different to school day. So it does feel just that God just lovingly opening people and opportunities. So it's weird to say I don't know what will happen,
Sure.
but something will, because something is. So we'll see.
Amazing, Beth. That is absolutely amazing. Really encouraging as well. And I share that sense of anticipation. What next with you? Just in closing, is there anything you particularly want to encourage the people we've got participating? I don't know how many we've got right now, but there are colleagues who are children's workers, youth workers, school chaplains, mostly from the UK, some from outside the UK with us right now. Is there something that you particularly want to encourage your colleagues here with, or a little word of inspiration? Put you on the spot right now.
I think something I just really try and keep myself doing and thinking is keeping my heart open to loving these students. And you can do that online, whether you're looking them in the eye or you're looking at their name and the camera. And I think it's a sense of that love and that safety and that welcome that I think gives them the permission, the sense of safety to be able to open themselves up to you and hopefully to God too. So I was nervous about the tech. I was nervous about, is this going to work? But I think just that sense of if you have an open heart to love and let God's love shine through you, come through you to the students, then I think that's a brilliant way of opening new opportunities up.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome.